Some ornaments are just decorations, and some become keepsakes you treasure year after year. These 3D Christmas ornaments fall into the second category. They shimmer, sparkle, and add that extra touch of magic to your holiday tree. And the best part? They're much easier to make than they look. Hello everyone, Jennifer Maker here, and it's a beautiful day to learn how to make one of my favorite new holiday decorations, 3D Christmas ornaments. Each has the cutest focal point, like a cheerful snowman that gently moves inside, or a classic Christmas tree that floats in the center. You can hang them on your own tree, or give them as thoughtful handmade gifts that are sure to be cherished. And once you've mastered these, I'll share how you can take this project a step further by creating your own custom photo ornament. First, I'll show you how to cut all the pieces from acetate, vinyl, and cardstock using any Cricut cutting machine. I've got a helpful PDF reference sheet to keep you organized, and I'll teach you how to apply the pretty vinyl designs to your acetate pieces. After that, we'll build the layered snowman that hangs in the center. Or, if you prefer, there's a simpler tree design. Finally, I'll walk you through assembling the whole thing into a gorgeous, three-dimensional holiday ornament. So let's get started by grabbing the design files you'll need. Head over to jennifermaker.com/775 to access my free library and download my free designs. If you're new, just click Get a Password, or if you already have one click, enter the library. Then search for design number 775 and click the download link. Inside the SVG folder, you'll find two designs. One has a snowman and one has a Christmas tree. There's also a super handy acetate piece reference sheet PDF you can print. It makes it much easier to keep track of your pieces and match them up later. If you're not sure how to upload an SVG to Cricut Design Space, go to jennifermaker.com/svgs and I'll walk you through it step by step. Once your file is uploaded, go ahead and add the SVG design you want to your canvas in Cricut Design Space. I'll demonstrate with a snowman, but don't worry, the tree design follows the same steps, and it's even easier to put together. Each gray piece will be cut from clear acetate, and each teal design will be cut from adhesive vinyl. I'll use holographic vinyl for maximum shine. Each vinyl piece is labeled with a letter that corresponds to an acetate piece. The reference guide makes it simple to pair them up correctly. And we're ready to cut. Make sure your machine is selected at the top right. You can cut your 3D Christmas ornament on a Cricut Maker, or explore series machines, the Venture, the Joy Extra, and even the Cricut Joy, as long as you're using thin acetate like the kind in my materials list. And if you're using the Joy, just be sure your materials are trimmed to fit its mat. Make sure your fine point blade is clean and in the right clamp, then click Make. On the Prepare screen, make sure the correct material size is selected for each of your mats. My cardstock is 8.5 by 11 inches, so I'll change the material sizes for those mats. Let's start by cutting our acetate first. Click on the second mat with the acetate pieces, then click Continue. If you're using Barely Art brand acetate like I am, the foil acetate setting with more pressure gives a super clean cut with just one pass. Before you load the mat, peel the protective film off one side of the acetate. Place the exposed side face up on a fresh green standard grip mat, and use a brayer to make sure it's really stuck down, especially around the edges. This will help avoid any shifting or tearing as it cuts. Load the mat into your Cricut and press the middle button to cut your acetate. When the cut is finished, don't unload right away. Gently lift the corner a bit to check if it cut all the way through. Press the middle button to do another pass if needed. Once the acetate is cut all the way through, unload the mat, flip it over onto your work surface, and roll it back to release the pieces. You can now peel the protective film off of the other side of the acetate pieces. Continue on cutting your cardstock mats using the medium cardstock setting with more pressure. On the vinyl mat, drag the designs apart so it's easier to see where to trim them later. Then use the holographic vinyl setting with more pressure. There's just one more step before we can start assembling the ornament. We need to weed the vinyl. I recommend leaving your vinyl designs on the mat to make them easier to weed. Use your weeding tool to lift and remove the excess vinyl around the elements of the design you want to keep. Remove the middles of the snowflakes by poking your weeding tool into the center and gently lifting it away from the design. When you're finished weeding, flip the mat over onto your work surface and roll it back to release the vinyl. Use scissors to cut apart each vinyl design, making sure to keep the letter at the top attached. Here are all my cut pieces. I'll switch to colored acetate so it's easier to see what I'm doing. Use the acetate reference sheet to match each acetate piece to its corresponding vinyl decal. Set the cardstock snowman aside for now, and let's start with acetate piece A and its corresponding vinyl design. Double check that the pieces are in the right orientation, with the letter on the top left and the acetate piece matching the orientation on the reference sheet. Cut a piece of standard grip transfer tape a bit larger than the design and remove the backing. Press the tape on fabric or your hand a few times to reduce stickiness. Too much tack can bend acetate, which we don't want, but this makes it just right to lift the vinyl without pulling. Bend the tape in a U shape like a taco and stick the middle down first, then smooth out the sides. Burnish the decal with a scraper on both sides, but don't worry about burnishing the letter since we don't want to transfer it to anything. Gently peel off the backing from the vinyl. Position the decal over the acetate. It's important to position the stars and snowflakes between the slits, and not over them. With the letter in the top left corner, place the decal sticky side down onto the acetate. Using your scraper, burnish the vinyl onto the acetate from the center of the vinyl outward. Carefully peel off the transfer tape and set it aside, sticky side up so you can use it again. Follow the same steps to attach the correct piece of vinyl to acetate piece B. You can keep using the same piece of transfer tape unless it loses too much of its stickiness. I like to place the finished pieces on top of the reference sheet as I go. When you get to pieces C and D, they are interchangeable, meaning they're the same shape, so either vinyl piece can go on either acetate piece. The same applies to pieces E and F. When you get to pieces G and H, position the vinyl design in the center of the solid area. Now let's build the cute little snowman that hangs in the middle. You should have one black background piece, 2 white snowman shapes, 2 scarves, and 2 tiny orange noses. Start by gluing one white snowman onto the black background, lining up the edges carefully. Take your time, and even if it's not perfect, it'll still look adorable once the scarf and nose are on. Remember, handmade has its own special charm. If any glue oozes out, just wipe it quickly with a paper towel. The glue dries fast and clear. When it's dry, flip the layers over and do the same on the other side with the second white piece. Now take one scarf and orient it so the tails hang toward the lower eye. Apply craft glue to the back of the scarf piece, but skip the very tip of the tail since it won't attach to the snowman. Attach the scarf to the snowman's neck, and our frosty friend is ready for a nose. These little carrots are adorable, but they are tiny, so tweezers are super helpful here. Add a little glue and place the nose pointing toward the higher eye. Repeat this whole process on the back side of the snowman. With both sides done, it's time for the fun part, building our 3D ornament. It may feel fiddly at first, but once a few pieces slide in, it quickly takes shape. Start by cutting about 4 inches of clear nylon cord. Thread it through the loop at the top of your snowman and then through the center loop on piece A. Tie a small double knot, but don't tie it so tight that the material breaks or tears. Trim the excess off the ends. The snowman should hang freely and dangle nicely. Grab acetate piece B, Slot the top and bottom middle slits on piece A into the top and bottom middle slits on piece B. It's a little like a puzzle. Take your time and gently guide the slits into place. Next is piece K, the tiny stabilizer piece. If you'd like your ornament to fold flat for easy storage or to tuck into an envelope for mailing, you can skip adding piece K. But if you'd rather have a sturdier ornament that holds its rounded shape, you'll want to add piece K. Here's how to do it. Fold each tab in the same direction all the way up so they're creased at the base. Tear off a sheet of 4 small glue dots. Press one glue dot onto the top of each bent tab. They might look a little messy, but that's okay. Hold assembled pieces A and B in an X shape with the top pointing up. Move piece K into place so the small circle's center is aligned with the point where pieces A and B cross each other. Each of the tabs on piece K should be parallel to and facing a side of the X. The glue dots may have already stuck to the sides of the X, but you can just wiggle the pieces into place. Press each tab with a glue dot into its corresponding side of the X. The ornament should now stay in an X shape, and you should be able to place it onto your work surface so it stands upright. Grab piece C. When adding each acetate piece to the ornament, face the front of the holographic vinyl in the same 2 directions for maximum shine. Insert piece C's top and bottom center slits into one of the sets of slits closest to the center on piece B. The acetate bends more than you think. Just be gentle and it will curve without creasing. Piece C should now be parallel to piece A. Grab piece D and insert its top and bottom center slits into the other set of slits closest to the center on piece B. Piece D should also be parallel to piece A. Grab piece E and insert its top and bottom center slits into one of the sets of slits closest to the center on piece A. Insert piece E's next top slit into the next available top slit on piece C. Do the same thing with the next available top slit on piece D. Insert piece E's next bottom slits into the next available bottom slits on pieces C and D. Grab piece F and repeat those same steps to add it to the ornament. There are 4 open sides on the ornament. 2 sides have slits on the outside parts of the pieces, and the other 2 have slits on the inside parts of the pieces. Find a side where the slits are on the inside. This is where pieces G and H will go. They're interchangeable, so grab one, and with the holographic side of the decal facing out, slide its top middle slit through the middle slot on that side of the ornament. Push the piece upward as far as it will go, then slide the bottom middle slit into place. Slide the other matching pieces' left and right slits into the outer slits on the ornament's adjacent pieces on that side. 2 sides remain open on the ornament. Grab piece I or J, they're also interchangeable. Slide its middle slot over the top and bottom center slits on one side of the ornament. Slide the 2 outer slots on piece I onto the top and bottom slits of the adjacent ornament side pieces. Do the same to add piece J to the last open side of the ornament. If your ornament feels loose or looks uneven, check the slits. Sometimes one can slip out. Just slide it back in and everything will line up again. Cut a piece of ribbon about 10 inches long. Tie the ends of the ribbon together in a knot. Slide the looped end of the ribbon through the hole on the top of the ornament. Slide the knotted end of the ribbon through the looped end, then pull it tight. And here's how my clear acetate ornament looks put together. Your 3D Christmas ornament is ready to hang. Isn't it beautiful? You just transformed flat sheets of vinyl, paper, and acetate into a dimensional holiday treasure. I love how the snowman looks like he's magically floating in the center, almost suspended in midair. If you found this tutorial helpful and you're excited to keep creating, you're going to love something I put together just for moments like this. It's called the Cricut Coach Playbook, and it's full of quick, easy-to-follow diagrams and step-by-steps that show you exactly what buttons to press and when. I made it because I remember how overwhelming Cricut felt at first, and I wanted to make it easier for others to just enjoy the process. You can keep it by your machine and flip to whatever you need whenever you need it. You can get it at jennifermaker.com/CricutCoach, and I'll also leave the link for you below. Go take a peek. Please share your projects so I can admire your beautiful work. Join our Facebook group at jennifermaker.com/CricutCrafters and show us a photo. If you'd like to go even deeper and make custom designs or learn new ornament techniques, join us in the Advance with Jennifer Maker members area for exclusive workshops and support. Don't have a Cricut, but definitely want one to make these? I do a regular giveaway over on my blog at jennifermaker.com/Cricut-giveaway. Get all the details and enter for your chance to win. And that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.